Hi guys. I spent some time working on this little OC tournament sheet. Um, I've been refining it and I'm quite happy to release it now. Um, Before we start, I would like to credit Squink for having the original format of the sheet, and they allowed me to put my own twist on it, add my own features, and then ZB as well, because Squink did the same thing with ZB. ZB made the original sheet. Um, Yeah, so my sheet comes with instructions, but if these aren't clear enough, I thought I'd just make a little video guide and walkthrough, kind of a showcase of what my sheet is like. The purpose behind the sheet is to archive your OSU tournament history. Um, Nothing on this sheet is inputted manually by the user on this tab. It is all inputted manually on here, and this looks quite daunting, but I'm gonna break it down. Um, Pretty much this is one tournament, and it takes this data and it can spit out like a nice visualization, I guess. I have another feature where it's a scheduling tab. It comes up with weeks and the tournaments coming up. Um, I think it would be extremely useful. I had something similar when I played a lot more tournaments about a year ago, and yeah, I thought I'd make it public and clean it up a bit. Yeah. So let's start. This will be the format sheet. This is exactly it. Exactly what is linked. Um, yeah, so the first step is to initialize the tournament log. File, make a copy. So, we could go ahead and do that. Just save it in my drive. Test example log. We'll call it this. So we made a copy, right? Here we are. While that loads, we'll read step 2. Authorize the sheet scripts. It says here you go to sheet management, which is just up here, and you click authorize scripts. And I will show you that just now when it loads. A little pop-up window comes up, like warning you, like, hey, this sheet might update things when you're not on the sheet. I did not write the script, right? I'm not entirely sure who wrote it as well. Um, but yeah, that's how you authorize a script. If anyone knows who wrote the script, I can add them as credit. That would be nice. Yeah, so we've done this, step 2. And then we go to step 3, which is retrieve and input your API key. So obviously I'm not going to show my API key on the recording. That would be a little silly, right? Pretty much you go down here, okay, and you click show key here. And I like to use this API key because it always works for things like this. Pretty much get that, and you go to sheet management, API management, add API key. And it'll come up like this. I'm not going to do it on the video, but when you do, it will come up like this saying your API key is working correctly. Awesome, right? So I have made a sheet with my API key already in it. And right, just to confirm this is working, let's take our OSU ID, right? And we'll put it in the players tab because this, pretty much this is where you spit out all the player information, and the sheet uses the API and the script to return it as values here, which we can reference in data, which we can reference in the log and make it look all nice, right? Another thing, you don't need to use the player ID. You can just use the username just like this. which is lovely, right? Um, yeah. Um, Before going into any of the disclaimers, I might explain them as we go along. Um, I'm just going to go ahead and input 2 tournaments and show how I would go about doing that in the most efficient manner as possible. Yeah, so as I said, this players tab is where you put your teammates, and this data tab is where you put the tournament information. Quickly just going over them. Tournament name. I will start with this one. So here it is, OC European Tournament. I played in this a year ago. One of the strangest team names I've ever had. Pregnant. And yeah, so we take the forum post, link it here. We'll take the main sheet and we will link it here, making sure that it's the cover of the main sheet. This doesn't have a cover, so this will be good enough. The format of this tournament was a 4v4, and the range was it was open rank, but if you want to put draft here, that works as well. The result, we got second, right? And if the tournament is still happening, feel free to put ongoing. If the tournament has not started, you can put upcoming. There's other options like D and Q, cancelled. And the prize we got for this, I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but I'm just going to say $20, right? Now, let's find our team. This is my team. These are my teammates, okay? So, we're going to the players tab, and we'll start putting in their names just like this. This was a really, really fun team to be on. And make sure it's not what I accidentally did. Don't do this. Make sure it's just a string. That's a bug because I put it twice. Just ignore that. Yeah. If it falls well, it should translate and get all the information for us. Right. So yeah. Who was the captain? It was me. Then we had bprod. Oh, whoops. Trumpetino. We have Bazizo. Amalsuki, Minikumenia. Agent. Bazizo. Minikumenia. And sorry, I'm tired. Who was it? Amalsuki. Okay. Yeah, so if we were to check the log sheet already you can see that stuff's popping up. Awesome. 4v4 draft. Cool, cool. Notice how the reward is in green. It's not easy to tell, but the second place here is a little bit more silver because of the conditional formatting. Yeah. So that is the simple function of the sheet. And if I was to put another tournament, it would be straight here. And this is what Squink's tournament sheet did, and people were happy with that. But I wanted my own functionality on it. I wanted a tab which I'll just go back to my personal one, which shows what tournaments are coming up per weekend, and then a place to throw all my schedules like this, right? Something like that. So obviously I made that, and it gets just a little more. You gotta be careful, I guess. Let's read this. So, ensure this date is exactly the first stage of the tournament. The Saturday of that weekend, use the equals date format, and then you can use your custom format for wherever you are. Say if you want to do month, month, day, day, year, 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 year. If you're weird like that, you can do that here. Okay. This replace is just a placeholder. We can get rid of that. Okay, so we are going to find the schedule on the forum post, right? So the 12th and the 13th of August of 2023 seems to be the qualifiers. So date 12th. No, it was 2023. Oh wait, 12th. So the way you input is year, month, day, right? And if you do want to do like a quick trick, if you want to know that this is definitely a Saturday, you can just go ahead and put in this. You can get the day here, and awesome, it's a Saturday, right? So we've done that correctly. It's definitely a Saturday. Okay, 12th of August, individual qualifiers, right? So I'll just quickly put it here, but this pretty much explains how it's going to work. This is treated as a week 1 in this row, and you just input what stage of the tournament was here. And then for week 2, so the next weekend was the draft. We can choose draft here, up all the options. And then round of 16 / quarterfinals. And then semifinals. Finals and grand finals. Okay, let's read this. Let's understand what's happening. The function of the scheduling sheet relies on consistent inputs here. Please ensure the first week of the tournament play is defined under this column, week 1. For weekends that have no tournament play, instead of leaving cells empty, please choose blank under the drop down. Feel free to delete stages if they aren't in your schedule any longer. Okay, so what's happening here? This exact cell is defined as week 1, right? Week 1 is referenced on this sheet as here. This is literally, this value is just this. Okay, so week 1, it knows we have quals, and this is how it understands it from your input. Say the draft was a week later, right? It might look something like this, okay? What I said here in the note is that if there is a space, ensure that it's not a space between the rounds, that you literally put the word blank, right? You won't see it on here, but just because it's there, the sheet will know that this was during the tournament. Like the tournament is not finished on this cell, pretty much. How it works is it counts the blanks of these, and yeah, it uses that value. So if you don't do this, it might not come up correctly. So I just had to reiterate that. Okay, so this is cool. We've got one tournament. It's on our scheduling sheet. And if you go to week 2, it's not in this column anymore. Go back to week 3, it's back here. That's because in week 1, there's quals. Week 2, there's nothing. And week 3, there's a draft. And as I demonstrated earlier, you can put your times here. This column is completely free to edit. Because I find most people just use a Discord message and then end up like forgetting tournaments or yada yada yada. I think this automation is quite handy. So cool, we've got one tournament. I'm going to quickly input another one. You know what, for the sake of the video, I'm just going to copy paste from my personal sheet. Where is it? Imcop. This should work. But I do not have their names, so I'm going to quickly put them in here. Just like so. Oh. I'm going to do Marmoot again because I'm not convinced. That's fine. Renew. I keep alt-tabbing. It's not an alt-tab. The way I'm pasting without changing the format is Control, Shift, and V. That's me. Okay. And now if we were to check the log, beautiful, right? How we got it here. Yeah, great. In the scheduling tab, this tournament actually happened before this one, so that's really annoying. I'm gonna try and move this down. I guess it's kind of disastrous, actually. That's not a problem, just as long as it's not week one, because you can't go behind week one, really. Oh, because this isn't an equals date. Very important to do that. 2023, 07, I think it was 08. Okay, awesome. So we have them side by side here. Now it's just a quick demonstration of how to add two tournaments. We have it on the availability sheet. Yeah, I'm gonna quickly go over the disclaimers before I wrap up the video. Some cells are locked, right? So say you want to change the value of this for whatever reason, blah, 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 it will prompt you like you shouldn't do that, right? Yeah, this cell just reiterates that these two cells have an important note attached that you should read if you're not using the video guide. Yep. Do not add or remove columns in data. Okay, this one's important because one of the formulas wasn't working as an array formula. If you were to add a row like this, it's going to say, oh, you shouldn't do that. But if you do, this row won't function as you'd like it to, pretty much. It won't come up on the scheduling sheet ever. It might throw off the rows below it. Just avoid it. The colors on the sheet are conditionally formatted, right? So the way it looks so clean and consistent, if you're going to add more rows, they're always going to be the same color, and you'll never have to reformat this sheet ever. That's because of conditional formatting. And it's kind of tedious to tweak because there's quite a lot of formulas that I did to get the placement colors working. Say this was first. This will turn to gold. Third turns to bronze, D and Q. This gets grayed out. It's just stuff like that. Let's see. If you're re-importing data from Squink's format, ensure you paste it into the correct columns. Right, so if Squink's format has something exactly similar to this, what I'm saying is if you were to copy paste it, there's a column here missing, there's a column here missing, there's 12 new columns, and if you were to just copy paste like this, it wouldn't translate correctly. Yeah, so if you want to get your link to share it with people, go File, Share, Share with others. Anyone with the link, so not just people you define, anyone with the link can view the sheet. Do not do commenter or editor, I do not recommend it. copy link, and you know, anyone without a Google account can click on this, and yeah, they can see your sheet. Wow, and they won't be able to edit it. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. One small tweak I did with my sheet just to make it a little nicer. Every 4 cells, I would format and merge, and say these were my last tournaments in 2023. I would do this, just like show, just like so, and kind of gives a nicer, cleaner look to it. You put the time in, you input your players or your data, right? You can get something that looks really, really nice. And yeah, this was fun to work on. You can see here the year, all the tournaments, all the teammates I ever played with. It's just nice to archive things. I ever think about that. I like archiving my Oyster replays, history, um, remembering good times. Yeah, but that has been my video guide and walkthrough. Contact me. My DMs are open if you have any issues. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much, and goodbye.